Okay, so the website's working again, thank Christ. God, what a nightmare that dub was. So I'm going to do something special, as you see with the title. I'm going to rewatch part of episode 5 in the Japanese. I need to know, are these people any more intimidating in Japanese? Because they sure as hell weren't intimidating in English. Like, they were the least menacing villains or antagonists I've ever seen since Scooby-Doo, man. Like, we're talking about Scooby-Doo villains. You're not scary. We're not afraid of you. Like, here's the thing: somebody can come up to you with a gun in their hand and shoot you and kill you and end your life and still not be scary, intimidating, or menacing. Like, there's an aura around people who are intimidating. There's an aura around people who are scary. These guys didn't have it in English. Let's find out if they have it in Japanese. So what we're going to be doing, we're starting, let me show you here. You see the time code there. It is exactly 10 minutes, 11 seconds. It's the beginning of the scene. It's the beginning of the scene where they wake up tied to the chair with the thing over their heads. We're starting there, that scene. So, we're going on 1, 3, 2, 1. This has got to be better, man. We heard there are people sneaking around the place. I like that. Boy, did you make a mistake, by the way. You really screwed up, man. These people have a few answers. I don't think they have the answers they think they do. You saw the end of the last reaction. I think they're idiots. Well, I'm already liking him better. Look, I guess I'm biased against towards Japanese. See, it's delivery, man. Listen to this delivery, man. This is so much better. Holy shit. It was the exact same visuals, but those English-ass voices coming out of there with the shitty delivery just wasn't nailing the intimidation, man. He was a clown in English. This dude was a clown, man. Now, we still have the problem of these 3 people standing in front of them don't have an intimidating look. I mean, they look a little crazy, but they don't particularly have like an intimidating look. But really, it's going to come down to the vocal delivery, man. For me, it's so interesting that no face cards have been revealed yet. Oh, this is so much better, man. I hate to keep repeating myself. You idiot. You still don't see the big picture, do you? Yeah, exactly. Now, where does he get this one person shit, by the way? I guess you collect cards individually. That actually makes sense. You collect cards individually, so if one person collects all the cards, it makes sense that they would get a reward. We don't know what the reward is. Maybe the reward is they join the Game Masters. Maybe it's not about going back to Earth. For all we know, it's time travel, man. They could have been snatched from time and taken 1,000 years in the future and there's no way back. We don't know. It would actually make sense because it would be the same location. Although, it's weird. It's weird that like they found paraphernalia, like he found a ring that he left in the bar. It's like it's an exact duplicate and duplication in time, right? Because let's say the bar burns down in a year. Well, the bar was still standing when in his version that he went to. How's that possible, right? So I don't know. Like there's a lot of variables we don't really understand. But it just doesn't seem likely that everybody else disappeared when people show up at this game area, Game City we'll call it, from different points. Some people have been living in Game City for a month. Some have been living there for 2 weeks. Some got here yesterday. How is that possible if everybody disappeared from Tokyo? It doesn't make any sense. It never made any sense, right? So I was never a believer that everybody else disappeared. I always believed they went somewhere else. The question is, where the hell did they go? And possibly, when did they go? It's possible it's time travel. But there's problems with that theory, too. Right. I don't know about accident. It feels like it was to a purpose. His dialogue's a little different, too, in the Japanese. He didn't say accidentally last time. I would have clocked that. This is different too. They're giving more detail. Yeah, I like his little firearm. Good shit. Yeah. Here's another thing. The Japanese, they order words differently, so he will emphasize differently. They say beach earlier in the sentence than you do in English, so I noticed he made a gesture when he said beach, which doesn't make sense when you translate that into English, right? When you do an English dub. We gesture when we say certain things. When I say the word gesture, I gesture. If I use the word gesture at the beginning of the sentence and gesture then, but we translate that in English and I say gesture at the end of the sentence, I gesture in the wrong place. It throws you off, right? I don't think dubs work in live action. It might work in animation where you can they can tweak the animation to sometimes. I've seen them do that. Yeah, I gotta say, he's actually a good adversary in Japanese. I wasn't sure that was gonna happen. But this actor is good with his voice. And it's, like I said, the gestures are lined up with the words. You ain't found no face cards yet. What I wonder if like you can only start playing for face cards when you've collected all the regular cards. The elite of the elite gamer, right? Look at this. Look at this delivery, man. I know you can't look at a delivery, but you know what I'm saying? See, that was so cheesy in English. I was laughing at him. You saw my reaction. Here, with this delivery, it's actually a threat. And another thing, when I was watching this in English, I knew Japanese when they shout, they just know how to do it, right? It works. Whoever did the English voiceover blows. It'd be funny if it's the same guy, because a lot of these actors know English, right? That would be funny if it's the same guy, because it was just not a convincing performance. She is scrutinizing, man. Well, we accept your generous offer. Yep. These two, the voiceover for these two was okay. They're not trying to be intimidating. They were fine for the most part. A couple line deliveries threw me out of it, but they were for the most part they were fine. It's like when you're trying to play a specific character type, then you run into problems, man. Yeah. I'm actually starting to get into. I hated this storyline in English. I'll tell you. I still don't know how I feel about it. I liked the setup of the first 4 episodes. I liked it, man. Now this has become a different kind of story. Now we've got like the politics and different factions, and I don't know, man. It's like the games have almost become background, right? I like the games being in the forefront. So I don't know how I feel about this plot turn. But I assume this is only going to be the end of this first season. They're going to break free of this group, or they will kill him and take him over and be in charge, right? Yep, that's right. Gratuitous ass shot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch through the confrontation at the pool where he's trying to take the woman's, because that was very unconvincing as well. Like, just that was terrible. And then we'll move on to the next episode. I think that's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, we're getting crunked. That's what this is. Watch this shit here. She does. All of a sudden, I see him. Suddenly, I got to put on my shirt. Like, what the hell's that, man? You gotta be shitting me. Their idiotic sexual tension, like, ugh. How old are you two, by the way? He's got to be past college age, right? I don't know how old she is. There's nothing textual that we can count on, as far as I know. So I have no idea. Probably early 20s. But both of you are too old to be acting like this, man. Like, if you think somebody's hot, that one on the right, man, the look on her face is hilarious. If you think somebody's hot once you're a grown-ass adult, you can compartmentalize that shit if you're in a life or death situation, man, which they are. You can't be getting distracted with this bullshit, and you sure as hell don't want these people knowing you're super close to each other, or they'll use you against each other. So, in no form or fashion is this productive towards your survival. So, I think this is intent. I think the characters in the manga were probably younger. I don't know why they aged them up for the live action. I'm thinking in the manga they were probably 14. It makes sense. That characterization makes sense. That sexual tension, awkwardness makes sense if they're 14. It doesn't make sense if they're 22. You're 2 years old, man, or whatever, right? If you're over 20, this doesn't make any sense. So I just realized as I say this out loud, I think they were written younger, and they didn't adjust the writing. They didn't tweak the writing when they aged them up. The Game of Thrones TV series tweaked the writing when they aged up the characters. They aged up the characters like 3 years each, right? That makes a difference. Even this scene reads better in Japanese. That's right. Get crunk. Yeah. Oh, it's not about drinking in this scene, Charlie. It is for me. Yep. See, just even the way they phrase shit. I don't remember him saying anything, so we're just an army to collect cards, right? Just even the way they phrase shit, Yeah. I did say them, and there's only two of them. Why would she ask two of them? You're not very bright, are you? I was in the game with them. Those two people, the only two people over there that I'm talking to, those two people over there, I was in the game with them. Two of them? Sometimes you just want to backhand these people, man. No, just one of them. Them. Just one of them. Which, I guess now we're doing the whole, God damn. Jesus. Generally speaking, the CGI for these animals is pretty good. I'm sure they used real animals in very specific shots, and then projected the CGI from there, right? For, like, jumping on people and stuff. But, I just noticed they have the suits are on the buildings. Those are diamonds, I think. You only have 9 matches. So you better move fast. You got to do 24 rooms with only 9 matches? You got to be lucky with what rooms you go into. Interesting. Y'all tripping. This is a great montage. I was afraid this meant that we weren't going to really see any gameplay anymore, right? Like that they were just going to do it as montages. But that's not what it meant. Yeah. It was just this particular sequence. Like this obviously is a real shot. And then that's CGI or something. There's something off with this right there, right? Really, that was definitely CGI. Maybe they just sped up the footage because they couldn't get the tiger to run, so they sped up so he's running. That's possible. So there was something off with that. Then obviously when he hits him, that was probably the most ridiculous shot we've seen so far. Y'all tripping. You're way too comfortable just firing shots, man. Yeah. Bingo. This sumbitch. He's intimidating, and I don't think we heard him speak, so he didn't lose that. This is a great shot. I think the only thing CGI there, that looked like a composite. They get a picture of the tiger jumping, and then the final spin after he got stabbed was the only thing they had to CGI. And then they composite it together, right? That looked pretty good, especially on a TV budget. The quicker you can make the shots, the better, you know. Oh shit, we got to go through all this. I think I just want to. We'll stop this here. That was like 14 minutes anyway. I just want to get to the pool scene because this sequence took quite a bit, as I remember. So let me just cue it up if you want to play along. So I'll cue it up at the beginning scene. It's coming up. This is like, this is kind of hard to operate because like every time you touch it, an ad pops up. So then you have to get rid of the ad, then you have to touch it again. So it's hard to sync, right? So what we'll do is I'll start it and then I'll say mark when it cuts to the scene. Cuts to the pool scene. You can pause me when I say mark, cue up your pool scene, and then start both at the same time. That's probably the easiest way to do it. See how like every time you touch it, there's an ad that pops up, right? Like it's just it goes like you have 5 seconds to do something before the ad comes back. It's just annoying. Shut up. Mark. Okay, we should be. And people ask me why I don't do an ad blocker. My computer's on its last legs anyway. I can't be putting a bunch of crap on here, right? The problem is I've loaded too much software on it already, and when you delete software, there's all those fragments that are left behind. I'm just going to go back to a factory reset at some point. Start over. Get another 6 years out of this computer. But until then, I can't be putting extra crap on here. So, you made it. We're awkward 22-year-olds? I definitely think they're coded as they're supposed to be 14 or some shit. I didn't really notice that until this episode. They get so damn awkward with each other. Nice oral fixation. See, again, even this conversation doesn't make sense. You're going to come up to two 22-year-olds and say, is she your girlfriend? Well, you should go ahead and start smashing. That conversation would never happen at that age. Nobody's doing that, man. Nobody's in college going up to two people sitting together. Hey, you guys smashing? I guess if you're a weirdo, and that's what the show is saying, is that this person's a weirdo. They're not saying she's a weirdo. They're trying to drive up the tension between the two. Which means these characters are supposed to be younger, you know? What's interesting about this, the way she's written to be in her 20s because she's talking about smoking and all this other shit, right? So if you look at it that way, she could be a 20-year-old talking to 14-year-olds like this, which she has kind of a maternal or big sister kind of vibe to her, so that kind of tracks as well. I'm doing a lot of headcanon here. I could be wrong. Maybe the manga, they're the same age. I have no idea. I'm speculating here. If they're supposed to, if the manga also has them at 22, then they're just poorly written, you know? But, because I don't know why 22-year-olds would be acting like this. He's a tough guy. Let's see if he's tough in Japanese. I remember him from the previous scene. Is Hatter the other dude? I thought number one and Hatter were the same person, but they had a comma. They said number one, comma, Hatter. So is Hatter that other guy that was standing there? I'm not sure about that. Thank you for that exposition, Dub, by the way. You're a lifesaver. Oh yeah, he's much better here. Dead. What you think? Only the small fish survived. He thought the other guy was tougher, I guess, and he was tougher, probably, fighting wise, anyway. Yeah, yeah, this ain't happening. What do you mean? Don't get myself involved? I'm involved. Oh Jesus, it's even worse in Japanese. The phrasing, how they phrase it. How about if I steal on you really hard, right in your nose? Damn, that's an interesting way to punish people too. By the way, yeah, this reads much better. I'm still the physicality of these people and the aura of these people is still not that intimidating. Like this guy right here, are you scary? Are you trying to scare me? Like I'm not feeling it, but it's better. It plays better in Japanese. How did you even see anything? Everybody's in the way, man. Oh, he's had her. Okay, so he has had her then. So maybe number one was the other guy. Number one. In other words, never mind. He's number one. So he's number one and his name's Hatter. Okay. All right, well, I don't know why they had a comma there. That was weird. Even this is a little more. He's not as aggressive in Japanese. He said, Could you let them off on my account?" Like he's asking a request, right? He's making a request here. This just plays better, man. I know I'm a broken record. I get it. I If this site goes away forever, I'll have to use the dub. But until then, I'll just wait next time rather than use the dub because the dub is just so inferior. Spit in his face. Yeah. he tells. All right, we're good. I'll move on to the next one. So he tells him he stinks in Japanese as well. You stink in every language. Look, I guess I'm just racist towards English dubs. I guess it's fine. Like My Hero Academia, I've never had a problem. I've even listened. I've checked out the Japanese. Right. I've never had a problem with My Hero Academia being in English. I've never had a problem. What else do I watch in English? I watch Yu okay, whatever in English, but that's trash. The English is trash, but that's what people want me to do. I watch Boruto in English. For the most part, I like it. Although, when I occasionally watch an episode in Japanese, I don't have any problems with it. So that's the rare example. I think both are good. But this is like radically inferior. But I guess, which is funny because back in the day, before I watched any anime, I would never watch subtitles. I hated things in subtitles. Amelie, I watched the movie Amelie in French subtitles, and loved the movie. Hated that it was in subtitles and bitched about that the whole time. Now I have no problem with subtitles. I would rather have the subtitles than an inferior line delivery. So there we are. Well, I think we've all learned something here today. Quit being impatient and just wait for the good shit.